Hey, bloopers. When you're in them, they're a whole different story. But when you're watching them, you gotta giggle a little bit. But now that we're back to the RIS Festival, just those bloopers are playing back in my head. Welcome back. We are still here with a panel discussion. This is one of the biggest panel discussions I've ever had in my career, and I'm hopeful that you guys are gonna enjoy it. We have men that were once youth, still youth at heart, doing big things in the country for the youth. And I'm gonna start by introducing the gentleman. Mr. Mike, please introduce yourself to the people.
Yeah, Michael Murisakharek is Nokwani.
Mm.
I was born in Rodiport,
Okay.
way back when it was Rodiport West, before it was removed. So I started my school in the rural area because I was staying with my grandmother.
Mm.
But I know my mother was a little bit jealous. She took me back. So they immigrated to Soweto. When I
Yes.
started now, I proceeded to Soweto. I was in my lower primary high school. Then in the primary, I was going out with the grannies, YWCA women.
Yes.
These YWCA women are the ones who started to get into my mind, to teach me life, to teach me politics
Ideologies.
and ideologies, and to teach me how to be a man.
Mm.
Then until we come to this point of 1976.
Yes. Wait. Please hold it there. Don't give them spoilers just yet, because he's not
Manika
alone.
cool.
He's not alone. Right. Sorry, Papa Barney on the other side, and he'll be introducing himself now.
Thank you very much, and greetings to the viewers of who are watching Arise today.
Yes.
My name is Barney Kgaleboe Mokhat. I'll tell you why I'm called Kgaleboe. That means Kgaleboe ke Kgaleboe lefoko go ya monwana,
Oh.
which means a word never
The word never
spoken
comes back.
never comes back. So you must always be careful of what you say, because even if you can say something and say sorry doesn't matter.
Yes.
So always be careful of what you say.
Yes.
And I'm born in Alexandra, 155 9th Avenue, by the late Mayor Ikaning Matha Mokhatle and Ntate Michael Mushosho Mokhatle.
Yes.
I was born in that notorious or famous township in maybe the whole of Africa, Alexandra.
Yes.
And my uncle was one of those notorious spoiler gangs.
Okay.
And I attended school at MC Whaler Primary. But my mother, because always liked better education, when I was doing Standard 1, she decided to take me to Lesotho, because they were saying Lesotho has got better education than the Bantu education.
Yes.
And then, because I didn't have a passport, there were people who were, that means I started crossing the border at a very young, skipping the border.
Yeah.
At a very young age. I crossed the border with some gentlemen who were helping me to cross the border.
Yes.
And then when we got to Emmanuel Mission School in Leribe, I was there for a year and learned a lot of things.
Yes.
And I nearly drowned in Lesotho because there were guys who were teaching me how to swim, and they said, "No, Barney, just throw yourself in the
the
dam."
water, yes.
And just,
Yeah, good
I
idea.
threw myself, and I thought I'd be like a fish, but I just saw myself just drowning.
Sinking like a stone.
Sinking like a stone, because I could see water and really going. And there was a guy called Barney, so he's the one who really helped me. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here today with me.
Yes.
And then, but after a year, my mom says, no. She was scared that maybe I'll be,
Swimming instructor.
apart from swimming, that I'll be eaten by the crocodiles, because remember Caledon River was infested with crocodiles.
Crocodiles, yes.
So it's very dangerous. It's a big river.
Yes.
So no, she said, no, I should go back to Alexandra. But then when you go to another country, instead of going to that standard, they take you back. You repeat that standard.
Yeah.
Okay.
So coming back to South Africa again, I had to repeat that standard. So I
Oh,
repeated
yes.
standard 1 twice. And then from there, I went up to standard 6. Then after standard 6, then my mom really seems as if they didn't want me at Alexandra. Maybe I'll take up
They
after
thought
my
that the township
uncle.
was not a good place for
Yeah. So they sent me to another Seventh-day Adventist school at Bethel College in the Transkei.
Okay.
So I was there. That's where now my eyes started, opening up. And it was a strict school at that time. I think this is where boarding schools tend to teach you how to grow, how to be independent, how to look forward, and how to decide. Because at the same time, even the background of Christianity to a certain extent assisted. But this is where I also learned about black consciousness a little bit. Because
Yes.
remember that when you grow up in a township, then you grow up during the years of apartheid, where you see some police coming to your house. They don't knock; they just kick the door, and sometimes you learn when they say "Vas your ma, vas your pas, vas vad." Now that
Million
thing,
questions,
yeah.
yes.
So that thing of Africans, tends to sort of play in your mind as why is this language always when something bad it comes through this language. So automatically, psychologically, it tends to affect you. Then you go to Bethel College and you meet, because it's in the Transkei, then you meet those guys who were sort of attached, maybe close to Steve Biko because of the proximity. Then that's when they start teaching you that it's not about the color. It's about the state of mind of black consciousness.
Yeah.
And you don't white people because they are white. It's because they're using the system which is oppressing you. So you start learning this thing that this is how a black person suffers, because it was colonization, it was slavery, where they're teaching you about this. Even in the Bible, that slavery that black people used to suffer. And this thing really sticks and sinks in you. And then this is where the politics also start
Starts to come in, yes.
into play, because then when you start organizing mini strikes at school, you start
Yes.
organizing protests.
See, now
Yeah.
that's a bit of a spoiler. King Solomon, I want to acknowledge you. You're also here today.
Yeah, no. I'm getting lost in the sauce, man. You hear the jewels. Generational keys, generational wealth. Mr. Mike, I want to ask you, how do you then meet Mr. Barney in your different walks of life?
Yeah, as I said
The first
before,
time you met him.
as I said before that we were in June 16.
Yes, sir.
In June 16, I was with Titi Machinini from our Sunday school.
Oh,
We were going the same church.
Okay.
So to be involved in the June 16, it was through the conscientization of SASM.
okay.
This SASM was a student movement politically,
Okay.
because it was lower than SASO. SASO is the one which
Governing
directed us
body.
that look, since we are SASO, you cannot take the SASO legacy, not legacy as such. You cannot take SASO's name. You have
Okay.
to come with your name. As they came with the name SASM. So during the June 16 movement is whereby I met Mr. Barney.
That's when you met him. So
Yeah.
on that day, because we celebrated even in last month, our first Arise Festival, we had it for the youth, by the youth. So on that day, what do you remember till today? On that day specifically.
My man, those memories cannot be, they are special,
Okay?
cannot be
Taken away.
somehow taken away from myself.
Yeah.
We remember that morning at school, at assembly, we didn't sing the normal hymns that we used to sing.
Okay.
We just sang the national anthem.
Okay.
So the teachers were surprised, and the principal wanted to stop us, but now, as you know, the student, when we are together,
Unity.
nothing will stop us. Then we went with the national anthem. Immediately after the national anthem, we said Amanda. Amanda, then we went out of the school. We are from Orlando.
Okay.
So we were going to meet the group of Titi Barneys from Kgosi from Naledi High, Morris, there at Pefeni. That's how that memory will never go out. And that day it was very cold.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it was very cold. We don't know. It was never such cold before. But that day it was cold.
It seems to me that the stars aligned on that day. The weather was there. All those schools came together. Look, this is a big interview. And if you want to leave, I don't know where you'd want to go, because this is a very big interview. As you heard so much, we've talked about black consciousness, 1976 Youth Day. There's a lot more coming your way. Make sure that you go nowhere, because we'll be back after this.
Hashtag the Arise Festival, hashtag we are the youth, hashtag we're doing big things. I'm in the privilege of great. I'm even scared to speak. When you're raised at home, you don't speak in front of your parents. You don't. But today, I have a textbook in my mind. I'm taking down notes. I hope you are. Thank you for streaming us from the comfort of your home. My guest here, Mr. Mike and Mr. Barney, and my co-host, Mokomote. We're still talking about opportunities for the youth dating back from 1976, even prior, up until now. So, Mr. Mike, you cited about June 16 and the memories you have of it, right? Mandela Day. What does it mean to you now? In the position you're sitting at, wherever in life, what does the 18th of July mean to you?
Yeah, for me, that's a very difficult question, but I'll just
Yes,
answer it because
Just from the top of the head.
why I say it's difficult, because I don't have so much sentiments for the old man.
Yes, sir.
Since the old man, really, for us, the country's like this because of him.
Yes, sir.
The country's scattered like this because of him. Oh, well, for changing the minds of the white men, not all white men.
Yes, sir.
Well, Mandela played a role.
Yes, sir.
Let me give him that due.
Yes, sir.
And then for making South Africa really known, Mandela,
Putting it on the map.
yeah, he put South Africa on the map
Yes, sir.
because of his fame. And of course, that fame came through us also, the June 16 people,
Yes, sir.
not only the ANC people.
Yes, sir.
Well, I respect the day, since it also
Yeah.
part of my
Your life.
liberation.
It's part of your history.
Yeah, it's part of my history of liberation, hence I liked it.
Having said that, then what to you is the definition of leadership? If I ask you what does it mean to have a good leader? With all the greats you've walked with, you amongst yourself, amongst the stars, and everything you've seen in this country, prior and present, and probably even the future, what is leadership to you?
My man, when I talk of leadership, I can talk of people like Sobukwe,
Yes, sir.
the Tambos.
Yes, sir.
I can talk of Bikos, the Tiros.
Yes, sir.
Those were the leaders.
Yes, sir.
And during apartheid, those people were suppressed because they were afraid of their leadership.
Okay.
These other leaders who came behind them, those are the leaders who let us down. So when we talk of real leaders,
It's the ones who came before.
they are the one who were killed by apartheid. And you can see that it seems as if there was conspiracy
Also.
in killing these leaders.
You know,
About
to add on leadership, you know, leaders are born. You don't learn. It's not like a textbook. You are learning. It's in you. You must have an insight. You must have passion. You must have humility. You must understand what people need, and you must know how to lead. And you must try to lead in the front. Don't lead at the back.
On the back, yes.
And always have a foresight of what is going to come. Or you can be even 10 steps ahead of those people you are leading.
Yes.
Because anything can happen. And always have plan Bs and plan Cs. Because it does not necessarily mean that when you have a plan A, it will always go like that.
Yes,
So you must
yes.
always think standing up. Don't go back and think. So to a leadership, you see, like today we've got leaders. People come into leadership because they are loud, but they are empty up here. And when you lead people. You don't lead animals. In fact, animals. I like watching National Geographic a lot.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
You see, elephants. They'll always follow a leader, a matriarch.
Yeah.
Lions will always follow a matriarch. There's always a leader. But where things are haphazard, this is a recipe for disaster. So you must know who you are, what you want, and what your people want.
Okay.
So those are the qualities of a leader. And always be prepared to say, yes, I made a mistake. Always to say, yes, sorry. Don't be a hard nut. Don't be stubborn. Yeah, those
So,
are
Mr. Barney, what's like a foundation? Why did
Yeah.
you guys start the foundation, and what does the foundation actually do?
The foundation actually started long time ago. It started while I was in exile in London, but it was not called Barney Mokgatle Foundation.
Foundation.
It was the recipe for Barney Mokgatle Foundation. I remember when I went to one of the comrades' house, and when I got to her house, and then they were talking to their kids in English, and I said, "Why are you talking English to your children?" And they say, "No. The thing is, we don't want to confuse them because we're in England in an English place." I say, "But now you see, that means you're
You're
qualifying.
recruiting the children.
That means you're qualifying what the apartheid government is saying to say that we've got peanut brains, because that means we tend to forget. Because here are Russians in England, they learn English in school, but when they come home, they speak Russian. The French, they speak French when they go home. The German, the Italians, the Swedes, everybody. Why us that we cannot cope with different languages? Then that's when I started Saturday Language and Culture School.
Okay. Under the foundation.
In England, where even the white people came to learn our language, Tswana and Zulu, because I was using Tswana and Zulu at that time. So, and also there was a group called Shikisha. They came to teach the kids our dances and poet and even storytelling. So it was to teach the black child who he is and even the roots where they come from, because you don't want them to be misguided. Because a tree without roots, it can be blown by the wind anyway. So from there, when I came, just to wind up the thing short, when I came back home, then my mom was running a crèche. Then when she passed away, I took over. Then I registered the foundation as Barney Foundation.
Yes.
Because I was more interested in education, because remember, we're fighting for a better education, and for free and quality education, not for inferior education. And the foundation says we want to talk to the minister and who's this, and Jim Serwa, to say, why can't we have a pilot project where we get children from preschool? We don't club them to say that this
so
one.
Basically, you're trying to deal with them at the foundation.
At the foundation,
of what's happening with them. So basically, now this foundation, now that it's here, and that's what you guys are up to. Papa Mike, are there any opportunities coming up that young people can look up to the foundation to take advantage of?
Sorry. Yes, this foundation is going to do a lot of things, because it's not only education, it's also teaching these children how to respect, how to approach the world, stopping this corruption of smoking, dachas, smoking, whatever these drugs, and teaching them what is a boy and what is a woman, and what is a man and what is a woman. So, and putting culture into them. Because, today at schools, they don't teach our children culture. They are just taught this English thing and it's over. And because of this media thing of today, not only the media thing of today, the technology. This technology is destroying our kids. We encourage them also to read books.
Okay.
Because books, they are the basic of making children aware and making them to go and consult. Because when they're on the media, they don't consult. They just on the.
I like how you mentioned that, because I'm about to ask you where can people find you online or on the cell phones, and it's very important what he's saying, because a lot of times we get so lost in cultures that are foreign, especially on things like Instagram, where we see people drive these big cars and these big boats, and we forget who we are and our circumstances at home, and we're chasing these things that are far off. So before I let you guys go, I just want to know where can people contact you?
It's Barney Mokhatle Foundation, and the website is bmfsa.org.za.
Please repeat that for the people.
www.bmfsa.org.za.
Okay.
Telephone number is 076 2155 299 or 011 264 1039. But before, just to go back a little bit about the June 16th thing, remember that what we want to tell the kids is that they should not forget that there are a lot of people who died for their education. There are a lot of people who died so that they can be better tomorrow. There are a lot of people who died, and a lot of people did not go to school so that they can have better education tomorrow. Remember that the very first blood who died, who passed away, was Hastings. It was not Tech, that was Hastings. Hastings was shot next to me. I'm not talking about something I had or read and been told. Hastings was the very first person to be shot next to me. Without any provocation, he was killed. So his blood, it should not be in vain. He died so that me and you should be free today.
So
So that- yeah.
those are the sacrifices that made these platforms like this a reality. So just remember that when you pick up that book and you read it, whenever you need to do your schoolwork, remember that people died for you to have the education that you're having today. People died for these platforms that we are on today. That's why we put on performers that are like the next performer that's coming, because we know the importance of the sacrifices that the youth of 76 made for us. So this is a personal friend of King Solomon, so I think maybe I should let you tell the people who's coming on next.
Yeah, number one, I just realized I feel bad now for dropping out of school, knowing that there are people who sacrificed for what I have. And thank you very much for your wise words and the recommendation of books. I think we need to go back to the basics. Hashtag the Arise Festival. Let me just say, you're in for a treat. Good music coming your way.
MP Light, baby.